Leaving Dornie, we head for Loch Ness, taking in Urquhart Castle, then driving down the Great Glen, over to Glenfinnan and on to Fort William for the first of our 2-night stay. Our guest house is only a short drive to Urquhart Castle. But the following morning, I'm up at 5 AM to photograph and film the sunrise, landscape and wildlife on Loch Linnhe, which is right on our doorstep. I really needed to be out half an hour earlier, just before the sun came over the mountains. But it's really beautiful here, and as I walk up and down the loch, capturing its beauty and looking out for wildlife, particularly an otter, if I'm lucky, sadly I'm not. Just magical here, magical. Anyway, I'll snap on because there's a whole bunch of herons in the trees, but even with the 7300 lens I still can't quite get in close enough. But, I'll be able to crop in a bit. Four, 5 and 7 at the Heron Hotel. I've never been anywhere where the evocative call of a distant cuckoo is so prevalent. Right, time to head back for a shower and breakfast.
Apple or orange?
So, after a lovely breakfast of scrambled eggs and smoked salmon, it's one more gaze out of our window and the top of Urquhart Castle peeking out above the trees. Fab. Another day, and this morning a beautiful day, and there's a heron flying over. Yep, I think it is. Got some shots of those this morning. Anyway, we're now on our way from Dornie all the way up to Loch Ness. Yeah, and we're going to call in the Lochness Centre. We've got to do that, it's got to be done. And then we're going to work our way back down to Fort Augustus, and eventually we'll end up in Fort William. But we're going to go out to the Glenfinnan Viaduct and the monument, and then work our way back to Fort William from there. And it's going to be a great day, hopefully. Will we see Nessie? So, Lochness Centre and exhibition.
With an open mind, this is a truly superb exhibition for adults and kids like me.
Spoiler alert. If you've not been here before, you may want to skip this edited section of 3.5 minutes, but it's great and educational and kids will love it. I did. The amazing Lloyd Scott. He completed the world's first underwater marathon in a deep-sea diving suit. It took him 12 days, and he raised over £1 million for charity in the process. And the list of other tough events he's completed is incredible. At over 22 miles long, up to 1.7 miles wide, and 230 metres deep, the entire world's population of 7.8 billion could fit into the loch at least 10 times, or so they say.
A 70-million-year-old plesiosaur, a favourite Loch Ness monster. But are we really in a Jurassic Park? Why did the plesiosaurs die out? Change forces evolution. Well, Scotland has changed a great deal in 500 billion years, since its beginnings far to the south of the equator, where the world was very different. And by the end of the Cretaceous, 65 million years ago, Slint brought catastrophe for the reptiles. Finally, the great land masses clustered around the North Pole, blocking the ocean circulation. Now snow could settle, reflecting away the sun's heat. The Ice Ages set the stage for the rise of men. The Great Glen, a fault torn across the mountains so long ago, was scoured by glaciers. So Loch Ness is no Jurassic lost world. Its creatures are a legacy of the ice. Along the Glen ebbed and flowed the turbulent history of the Highlands, or the sea dragon as a figurehead. Norse and Celtic folklore spoke of the Orm of northern waters. In 565 AD, the Christian missionary St. Columba banished a water beast from the River Ness. Pagan echoes of an ill-omened kelpie or water horse were seldom confined to fashionable Victorians touring through the new Caledonian Canal. But sightings persisted, and thanks to authors Rupert Gould, Constance White and others, we have 1,000 records.
We saw this great neck of
Something because it could overcome the wind.
terrific great black thing like a great whale.
On the left, a really heavy wick.
This huge black hump.
And then there was the long neck, and you could see the three humps.
Surely there was a case to answer. A band of amateurs was roused to investigate. After his film in 1960, Tim Dinsdale devoted his life. Reports suggested large creatures moving close inshore, maybe feeding on fish concentrations. Here was a chance to solve the mystery at a stroke. New pioneers surveyed the shallows for unusual bones. Wide-angle underwater television used the same silhouette principle. Volunteers persisted, but their hopes were tinged with apprehension. New underwater pictures from Loch Ness warned they might look into the face of a nightmare.
Yes, it's informative and fascinating, and not at all tacky as I imagine it to be. Although, fluffy Nesses are available.
There. Oh, Jamie.
Right to the bottom of Loch Ness.
Urquhart Castle, built in the 13th century, ravaged by battle and finally blown up in 1692. Centuries later, the ruin remains are one of Scotland's most visited castles. Yes, I'd love to see one of these in action, as long as I was at a safe distance, of course.
Yeah, no, it's not on the main road.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. So there's no way.
Remains of a gatehouse.
Prisons.
Nope, there's some poor guy in there, he's been in there for a few centuries. Water! Water! Beyond the walls. Look! Nessie! Just imagine walking an underwater marathon here. Pleased to get a shot of a pied wagtail. Magic. Loch Ness and Urquhart Castle. Brilliant. It would have been huge in its day before being destroyed, but fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Yeah, I love going around old ruined castles, probably because I'm an old ruin myself. No cameras, no cameras. She hates being on camera, so I'm always teasing her. Anyway, we're heading down the Great Glen towards Fort Augustus. In the gift shop, by the way, back at the Lochness Centre, there's a life-size model of Sam Hewen and his Mrs. Clare. Clare, you're a wanton woman, Clare. Actually, it's my best Northern Irish accent. I can't do a Scottish accent. So, Scots, you'll be very pleased I can't. We're going to be going through Fort Augustus in a few minutes, and then we're heading down towards Speenbridge. From there, just before we go into Fort William, we're going to take a right and go down to the Glenfinnan monument, then up to the Viaduct, where the choo-choo goes over. We did that ride on the Jacobite train, it's called. 10 years ago, was it? Something like that. Fantastic. One of the great train journeys of the world. So that's a must-do as well if you come to Scotland, from Fort William to Mallaig. Caledonian Canal links Inverness with Fort William, has 29 locks along its 60-mile route. Neptune Staircase, near Fort William, is a series of 8 locks, elevating the canal by nearly 20 metres, and is the longest staircase lock in Britain. Glenfinnan, here we come. Right, sadly for us, the train doesn't pass through till about 10 to 6. Which is over 2 hours away, sadly. And mostly because of the weather, we're just going to head up to the Viaduct and then to the Glenfinnan monument and head off to our B&B just a mile south of Fort William. As Billy Connolly once said, there's no such thing as bad weather, only the wrong clothes. Here's some Glenfinnan Viaduct facts. It's 380 metres long, 30 metres high, built in 1901, and it was entirely constructed in concrete with 21 arches. When the Scots founded Dunedin, South Island, New Zealand, it was freezing cold with horizontal rain and said, "Ugh, that'll do nicely," in my best Irish accent. Built in 1815, the monument is a tribute for those who died fighting for the Jacobite cause. It stands 18 metres high, with a clan chief at top, and Loch Linnhe behind. Here we are at Glenfinnan Viaduct in the pouring rain, and then we're just about to drive off, and I suddenly, hang on, we haven't gone over to the Jacobite monument. So I went over there. I got even wetter. We've got rainproof jackets, but my goodness, it's awful. And then we just popped into the cafeteria for a coffee, just in the nick of time, so they were due to close in a few minutes. And so we nipped back here in the car with the remnants of our coffee. And now we're off now to Fort William for our accommodation tonight and tomorrow night. Yeah. Let's hope the weather's better tomorrow, because it really has been bad. One in the middle. It's got to be Ben Nevis, isn't it? We didn't see Ben Nevis the last time we were here. It was completely under cloud. Yowza, yet another loch view from our B&B room. Wow, that's our view. So this is the 5th or 6th best view we've had, well, 6th night in a row, isn't it, I think? Dinner tonight is a 10-minute walk to the Clan Macduff Hotel. Great food, and this is my haggis, neeps and tatties in a unique presentation. Sweet was good too, so we booked here again for tomorrow night. Next time, a circular route to Oban, Glenorchy and the magical Glencoe. I can't wait for that.